know anyone that has come back from the dead, that has come back from the grave? Do you know anyone? Do you know anybody that has come back and knocked at the door of your home and said, I'm back from the dead. I'm back from the dead and I can tell you what's beyond the grave. Do you know anyone? Well, we do know someone. We know someone who came back from the dead, and 500 people saw him. 500 people touched him. 500 people testify, yes, he came back from the dead. And he can tell us what's beyond the grave. And he says, there is an everlasting life waiting for each one of us. An everlasting life, but you choose where you're going to spend. Are you going to spend it with God, with his angels and the cherubim, in a place that is absolutely beautiful, in a place where there is no sickness and no death, where there is no torment, there is no pain, there is absolute joy, there is absolute peace, there is absolute love. That is the place where God lives. That is the place where my King lives. Or there is another place where there is separation from goodness, separation from God for eternity, where there is torment, where there is pain. And that pain is eternal. If you think it's bad enough on this earth, if you think that's bad enough on this earth, well, there is a place that is even worse than the worst of the pain that you have had in your life on earth, and that is hell. That is called hell. That is a place where God wouldn't want anyone to go there. And he sent his son Jesus. He sent his son Jesus, my King, to come to this earth. They actually called him the King of the Jews. They put a crown of thorns on his head. And he paid the price. He paid the price that each one of us needs to pay, because sin demands a price. Do you know the Bible says that the wages of sin is death? And that we're not talking about physical death. We're talking about spiritual death. And something that you don't want to have. Is something that you don't want to have. And God has come as a human being 2,000 years ago, and he's proved to us, he has proven to us how much he loves us. Have you ever looked at the Calvary cross? Have you ever looked at the way that Jesus was whipped? Have you ever looked at the way that they drove the nails in his hands and his feet? Have you ever looked at that? Have you ever looked at his sacrifice? Do you wonder, why did he do that? Why did he do that? And you might say, well, I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe it. But on what do you base your belief? On what evidence? People say, I need evidence to believe in God. Well, if you need evidence, then give an evidence. Give an evidence right now. Give an evidence that it doesn't exist. Give an evidence. Give an evidence that after this life, that you cease to exist. What evidence can you give? We have seen this beautiful castle. This beautiful castle was built by a builder. There was an architect and a builder. Did you see the builder? Did you see the builder? Did you see this castle being built? No, but do you doubt that there was a builder? No, you don't doubt. Have you seen creation? Have you seen incredibly intricate, the flowers, the birds, the animals, the trees, how the human body is so intricate? How can it be all this happening by chance? How can it be happening by chance? There is a scientific impossibility that something comes out of nothing. That is a scientific impossibility that something has come out of nothing. So who has told you that? Who has told you that? Who has told you this scientific impossibility in which you actually believe? Did they bring any evidence? Did they bring any evidence in front of your eyes to show that something comes out of nothing? Something comes out of nothing. Scientists cannot show you, cannot give you this evidence. So my dear friends, before we go, we ask, that you look into it, because your eternal destiny depends on it. Your eternal destiny, which you have won. Have you looked into that? Have you looked into see that you have won? First of all, because it will come to everybody. It will come to everybody that we will move away from this natural body. We will move away, and we will have our spirit. We will have our spirit, and our soul will live on. We will live on. And where will we go? Where will we go? And here is the choice. Here is where you make your choice. And the Lord wants to say to you, I have loved you this much. I have loved you this much. Your soul means this much to me. Your soul means the death of my son. Your soul is worth the death of my son to save you from the place of torment and gnashing of teeth.